beaten in Leviticus, Exodus, and Deuteronomy. That's why they had this bread in the tabernacle. We're not going to get into that. But, okay, so now, 7 days. 7 days, okay, when you doing the Passover, it's a symbolic or representation of being born again, born from above. It means, you're being born again. They put the blood on the door. That blood represented, as we went over, a womb. That's what he was creating now. That's what he was creating, because Israel they all had to come out of their doors. So he was creating a rebirth, a womb. So they come out, they're rebirth, they're reborn when they come through them doors. They put the blood on and go in now. Eat the Passover, come out. They're passing over from death that was in there, that came through Egypt, death, the destroyer, the angel of death, or whatever you want to call him. They pass over from death to life. And then once they pass over from death to life or be born again, they're supposed to be what? Now you're supposed to be unleavened. You're supposed to have, once you're born again, I'm just using that term because everybody's familiar with it. Once you're born again, you're supposed to be unleavened now. You're not supposed to have any sin in your bodies or your houses or your temples. You're supposed to be unleavened. And the 7 days represent what? When we enter into that new kingdom, which we'll get into that later, that 7th day represented the Shabbat and the day of rest. So when the true land or the true place where he was going to take Israel was not just that Jerusalem. It was the new heaven, the new earth. When it came down, this would be the passing over. The true passing over. And then when we passed over into the new heaven or the new earth, into the new Jerusalem, then we were to be unleavened, pierced, and some of us would be beaten or whatever. We would be unleavened. So that 7th day represented them. It represents you being unleavened when you pass over from death to life. Now, in a natural sense, we move on to the New Testament, and Paul says to purge out the old leaven, so that you can be a new lump. Now, what leaven should we be purging out? Sin. So you got Galatians, you got Ephesians, you got others people telling you what sin is. You start with Galatians 5. Yeah. So we're going to start at verse 11. Everybody got it? Mm-hmm. Galatians 5, and brother, if I yet preach circumcision, why do that? Nope, that's not it.
You say a little 11 the whole lump?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's 1 Corinthians 5.
Oh, well, I'm going to go there. We're going to stay in Galatians 5 and 19. That's where I was going.
I can say look at 7 too. It gives a good illustration. 5 and 7 through 9.
This is alright, we're going to go to 5 and 19, so we're going to outline some leaven that, everybody is familiar with, sort of, kind of. So if you got it, you got it?
Yeah.
Because we may step on toes a little bit here, but hey, it's the truth, huh? Alright, so it says, 5 and 19, it says, now the works of the flesh are these. What is the flesh?
The mind of the carnal man.
The carnal mind. The mind said it was what? Contrary, but how did we get it?
Adam.
Disobedience, because we didn't, but Adam them did what?
Transgress.
They transgressed the commandments by doing what?
Disobeying.
Yeah, eating of this tree. Come on in. Eating off of this tree. So we're going to take it back to Genesis and we're going to rehearse it. Now, Adam them did what? Because we don't went over unleavened bread. Now we're going to get into the symbolic part of it. Adam and them, they ate of that tree that they were not supposed to eat of, right? And when they ate of this tree, what happened to them? What happened to them? They took some. So remember we went over. Now think about unleavened bread here. And we're gonna get a little, we're gonna go a little deep here, but not too deep. But think about the unleavened bread here at the garden. Unleavened bread represents what? Sin, right? Yep. So sin is the representation of evil. Adam and them were.
They knew no evil.
They didn't know any evil, so they were what?
They were full of life.
They were full of life, but they were
unleavened.
They were unleavened. So what was in? So something was injected into Adam and Eve, which made them. They went from. So they were unleavened. Adam and Eve were unleavened, walking through the garden, pure, sinless, right? Now, Adam or Eve takes and disobeys, because it was about disobedience. It disobeys the Most High's commandments and eats of a tree that He told them not to eat of. And so they went from being this to being this. They went from being leavened. They went from being with no sin to now having a consciousness of sin. And so they were sinful, but they had a consciousness now when they didn't have it before. So they were unleavened before, and then they became leavened. And the Most High did what? He takes and spews them out of the garden. Because they have now, they're no longer unleavened. They're no longer unleavened, now they're leavened. You see, so they take on a nature. And that nature is what? It's called the Galatians 5:19.
Flesh.
It's the works of the flesh. The knowledge of the flesh. The importation. So what the Shaitan, which is Satan, what he did in the garden was to inject some yeast into, so to speak, some yeast into Adam and Eve. Something that would do what? What did he say would happen if they ate of this tree?
Surely die.
They shall surely die, but it's a process, see? It's a process in this bread swelling up from this to this. It's a process. Some people get confused and say, well, why didn't they just die right then? Because it's a process to go from this to this. You have to, it takes some time, a certain amount of time. So now we see what the Most High was talking about in the garden. He said, look, in the day you eat of this tree, you will become leavened. And eventually, or at some time in this day, you will die. We know that day represents 1,000 years, so Adam had to die somewhere in there. But initially, Adam was not supposed to experience death because he had the tree of life right there. Right? So, they became leavened, and they took on the nature of the flesh, what we call the flesh, which represents leaven. Right?
Yes, sir.
Right? Everybody with it? Alright, so now 19 says, now these are the works of what they took on. Right? Y'all follow? I'm trying to, I guess I'm gonna wait till everybody gets settled because I don't want to run leave nobody go. Oh, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. You know, we appreciate everybody coming. Yeah. So, alright, so we don't run off and leave nobody. We gonna wait for everybody to get settled because I'm kind of moving, boy. I'm moving now. You know, I'm going somewhere now. I start going somewhere. I'm gone there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna wait until everybody gets settled, so everybody can see what we coming up with here. And we got some water right there. It's cool if anybody get thirsty. They right there. You get as many as you want. It's fine. All right. So everybody settled in. Is we going somewhere now? Let's go. We in Galatians 5:19. Yeah, we're getting ready to shoot off now. So, you know, you want to be paying attention because I'm going to run off and leave. You know, once I get going, I'm gone. Alright, so, now, alright. Yeah, if you need a Bible, you got the Bibles. Anybody who need one, who won't have one. Anybody? Alright, y'all. So we settled. Everybody ready? All right, so we back in the garden then, right? All right. Now, that what Adam did represents leaven. They took on sin. We're gonna stop calling it sin, leaven, and start calling it sin. All right. So, because that's what it's talking about. Even though it's used to illustrate the bread, it's talking about sin and being with sin and being without sin. That's what it's talking about. All right. So, Adam took on sin. Right. Now, Galatians 5:19 gonna give us a little bit about what is sin. All right. So now the works of the flesh are manifested. Manifested meaning they are shown, which are these: adultery. Anybody commit adultery? Everybody know what adultery is? You step on some toes tonight. It's time to knock some toes out, to step on them and squish them a little bit. Everybody know what adultery is? Adultery is when you are married and you go outside of your marriage to somebody who you're not married to, and you be quiet, and you you sleep with them. That's adultery. So if you consider yourself married in here, and you are sleeping with somebody who you're not married to, then you are committing adultery. That's what adultery means. Alright, so see, we're going to get into some leaven tonight. Some real leaven. Now, I want to lay a foundation, but that's late. Now, let's get into some real leaven. Because it's going to hurt some folks. They're going to get a little mad with me, but hey, we're going to get into it. Galatians 5:19. So, alright, anybody in here commit fornication? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're going to walk it down tonight, but anybody in here got any leaven of fornication? Matter of fact, we can take this bread over because we done with that. So, what should I be doing for 7 days? Not only get 11 out, but I should, if I'm committing fornication for 7 days, I need to be trying to get rid of that. Why do I have to do it in this 7 days? Why can't I just do it anytime? That's the appointed time when Yahuwah, Yahuwah will work with you at any time, but this is the time he is appointed. If you were to be doing something, sometimes you're doing some stuff you can't shake it. You're like, hey man, I'm trying. And I'm not saying that you won't deal with you at any time. But this is a specific appointed time for him to deal with you on the Feast of Unleavened. You see how important the feast is now? Of Unleavened. This is my appointed time when I'm going to come down, and it's going to be an appointment for unleavened. If you want to be unleavened, this is the appointment time. This is the appointed time I'm going to come down. If you can't say to get yourself right through the year or whatever, then you better believe you'll be right in these 7 days. That's why it's 7 days. Now let's see why it takes 7 days. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahuwah's going to deal with every issue, everybody, everything. It ain't going to be no excuse, in other words. Now I got an excuse all through the week. I couldn't do it. I couldn't help myself. The Spirit wouldn't help me. I don't know. People make up all kinds of stuff. The Spirit is there to help us. But again, this is an appointment. I want to stress what appointment means. That means that this is the time where Yahuwah will really deal with you. It's just like the Shabbat. When it says this is an appointed time. This is an appointed time when Yahuwah will come down and he will deal with them at this time. Now, he wouldn't do this all the time. It wasn't all the time he would do this, And they said, well, some people may say, we don't need, I'm not talking about my brother here, but we don't need that right there. We good now. Again, he says this is an appointment of Yahuwah, not of Israel. This is not for Israel only. This is Yahuwah's appointment. That's why I said the feast of, they use the word Lord, but we know Lord means Yahuwah. This is a feast of Yahuwah. This is appointment. That word feast is not that. It's appointment. Appointment of Yahuwah. For you to be what? Unleavened. So we're going to see what leaven is. Leaven is adultery. Leaven is fornication. What is fornication? Whoring. Some people think it's having sex and not going down to the courthouse and getting a license to be married. That's what some people think. They say, you shacking up.
Creeping.
You shacking up. You living it up. You ain't got no marriage license. In this Hebrew culture, did they have marriage license?
No.
Did anybody have a marriage license? Is there any scripture in the Bible where somebody had a marriage license? Well, where did that come from?
They wanted to separate, keep the blacks from going to the whites.
That's what marriage license came into play. Because before blacks started marrying white, they still didn't have a marriage license in the United States. But when blacks started marrying, became free, was able to start marrying white people to stop that or control that, they come up with this thing called a marriage license. Why? Because then they could see who was getting married. They could stop you right there. No, we're not going to give you a license. They made it a law to have a license to be married. And it was designed to stop whites and blacks from marrying each other. So if you went to the courthouse and you wanted to be legal or have some financial clout together, then they would cause you to have a license. And if you came down there and you had a white wife or she had a black husband, they would deny them. They couldn't get married. That's what the point of marriage license. It has nothing to do with the Most High. Zero. A marriage license has nothing to do with the Most High. The Most High said when a man goes into a woman, what? He's married. That becomes his wife. This is not the symbol of marriage. Marriage is when two people come together and become one. Look what he told Adam. He said, for this cause, you shall cleave unto your wife. What cleave mean? We know what that means. And y'all shall become one. That symbolized marriage. Not putting a ring on it. Putting a ring on it, and all these so crazy songs they teach us that put a ring on it.
Yeah.
That's all I heard. So that doesn't symbolize shalom, bro. That doesn't symbolize marriage. All right. So uncleanness. What is uncleanness? We want to cover all of this, so we're gonna be moving. Uncleanness. What is uncleanness?
It's all kind of uncleanness.
Yeah. Name some of them. Anybody? Now notice now. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get some more chairs. I'm gonna get some more.
Sorry, man. I got some folding chairs, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh, there go one right.
Come sit up here.
Two?
Come sit up here with me.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's two right there.
Come sit up here with Yashara.
Watch that chair there, cause it's kind of loose there, bro.
It's loose as a goose. Huh?
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right. But now, all right. So
Let me pull it out.
uncleanness. Uncleanness. Everybody know what now notice what uncleanness is at. I want y'all to notice this.
It's in the Torah.
It's in the Torah. But here Paul is talking about it in the renewed covenant. How can Paul be bringing something from the Torah into the renewed covenant? I mean, that's a whole other topic, but I want to point that out. Because uncleanness is in the Torah. So people who say you don't have to worry about the Torah, look where Paul is getting this stuff from. He's getting it from the Torah, the Old Testament. He's getting it from the Old Testament. Adultery is in the Old Testament. Fornication is in the Old Testament. So when you say we don't have to keep the commandments, it's done away with, well, what is Paul talking about right here? He's pulling all this stuff from the Old Testament, saying that these are the works of the flesh. All right, so we got uncleanness. Uncleanness. What is uncleanness? See, this is going to be for the people who say,
It depends, man. Like, it's
some people who say we don't have to live by the Old Testament no more. This is for these people. But we don't have to live by the Old Testament. What is uncleanness?
A woman in her blood.
Woman in her blood.
Yeah.
Unclean foods.
Abomination. Yeah.
Abomination.
take a bath after you have sex.
Taking a bath after you come together. What else?
Leprosy is unclean. Having blood hair is unclean.
Yeah. In the skin. Yeah.
That's part of leprosy. If you didn't know, that's Leviticus.
What is that? What is it called? A nice version of a cycle. That's it. That's unclean, is not?
No.
I tried to use a nice version.
The way of the woman. The way of the woman.
Yeah, the way of the woman. I don't know what nice way to say that, but y'all know what I'm talking about, though, right? Okay. Yeah, menstrual cycle. That's the technical word for it, right? So that's uncleanness. So, coming around a dead body. Anybody like to go to funerals? I told you, gonna step on your toes tonight. I mean, I'm just telling you. I didn't make this up. I didn't write it either. I'm just running through what is unleavened. Anybody like to go to them dead bodies? I know. It's gonna get a little hot in there, but so I mean, it's uncleanness.
I thought if you touched the dead body,
I'll be around.
so just be around people.
Yeah, so you come in contact with it. Oh, man, you know, that's why the high priest didn't want to crucify the Mashiach, because they didn't want to come in contact or be around a dead body, which would make them unclean. You see what I'm saying? He says for us not to touch it or be around it. So if I come in contact with it, I mean, you could be cleansed from it, but it's still a form of uncleanness. It says in Leviticus that a woman should, her time, I'll use that then, time of the month, she should wait 7 days
7 days?
afterwards,
Yeah.
and then wait another 7 days. Is this unclean? Don't look at me. Is
Oh, you
that
talking about after
unclean?
the birth, after they have children?
No.
In the body,
No,
I mean, with the boy and the girl, they gotta wait a certain amount.
cycle.
You talking about the cycle?
Yeah.
It's like if you have one bathroom, you're not even. It's just a lot of.
So is the cycle part done away with?
Is that no? That's not
So
that.
when woman's time, she should still wait 7 days, then another 7 days.
Hey, now you
She's
know
clean?
that. You know what that
It's
means.
not 14 days.
To add-
7 days. That's it.
To add on to what you're
Like
saying.
the cycle is.
And happy birthday to her birthday I had missed.
So
what's the correct way to go about it? Like,
that's why I was pointing my wife, but she know more about it than me. When?
Huh?
What's
We gotta
the
get
way to go about it? Real quick.
Oh, this, when she has a cycle, then 7 days after she should remain unclean, and then after that she's clean.
7 days? Oh, I thought it was 14.
No.
7. Okay.
14 total.
That's long. You've been at 10, 14
14 total.
That's right. What he said, it's 14 total. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's
really
not.
nice.
It's, no.
That's
Why-
according to the woman's body. That's
Well,
not-
yeah,
that's not
I guess
14
however long the cycle lasts, and then 7
Whoa,
days.
leave it alone. Leave it alone, 14.
That's what she just said, man.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
just 7 days after,
It look
after
good,
her
bro. I
body
like
does what it
it. I like the
does.
song.
7 days after that she's
Yeah.
unclean.
okay. All right. So I was wrong on that. That's why I pointed to her. So we got unclean as women. 7 days after. Cause some people 3 months. I mean, not 3 months. So this ain't my area. I just let her to 3 days. Some people like 3 days. Some women might be 2 days. Some women might be 5 days, 7 days. So however many days you are to 7 days after it clears your time of the month, you are to remain another 7 to be clean. All right? That's uncleanness. Another form of uncleanness. When you have intercourse, hold on one second. When you have intercourse, you are to wash yourself because you're unclean afterwards. That's uncleanness. Now I'm just trying to teach tonight a little bit because I went over that real. I knew it was gonna get a little quiet when I started getting into it.
Yeah, you did.
All right. So that's uncleanness to the Most High. He looks at you as being unclean, regardless if you want to say that's in the Old Testament. It's right here in what you call the New Testament.
Alright.
So uncleanness, we video it, bro. I'm gonna get to your questions later. Yeah, you all right? All right. So I didn't even cut y'all, but I'm gonna get you. Yeah.
You good.
So the uncleanness is dead bodies.
When you touch the
When you touch,
unclean thing, period.
what is unclean again? What's the foods?
shrimp.
Now this is gonna get on your nerve. Now I know this is gonna work somebody's nerve right here, but I gotta say it.
Shellfish, birds of prey,
Birds of prey, shellfish,
rabbits, pigs.
rabbits, pigs,
It's a long list.
That's pretty much it.
creeping things. But what else though? There's one more that nobody ever pays attention to.
If an animal got a cloven, it gotta have.
Ma'am,
You talking about the hog?
the hog, yeah, we pay
If
attention
you
to that
got a
one.
cloven hoof,
We pay attention to that one.
we got a cloven hoof,
Shrimp, we pay attention
and
to
don't
that
chew
one.
the cud. Like anything that got a cloven hoof and don't chew the cud, or chew the cud and don't have a cloven hoof, it gotta have both, or it's unclean.
Hey, if it just say if anybody got to leave, you can't get up and leave because it's gonna take a bit. We got to go over all this so we can understand what unleavened is. All right. So what he means by chew the cud, anybody know what that means? Why he said you
That
can't
mean
eat
graze the
animals
grass or something like that?
that chew the cud? Anybody know? No.
No, that's not what that means.
Okay, chewing the cud means the reason why he told us to eat animals that chew the cud means the animal will chew his food up, digest it, and then spit it back up and go through it to see if it's got nails or wires or anything, and then chew it and eat it again. That's what the cud is the throw up. he throws it back up, goes through it, regurgitates it, as I said, and eats it again. Now, swines don't do that. So when you eat these meats that they don't go through, the animal itself don't go through for you, then it could be that ate a nail, it could be that ate a part, like swine eat poison, rotten food. The animals that chew the cud that regurgitate, that's what that means. When they throw it back up, that's why they throwing it back up. If there's something wrong with it, they throw it back up and chew it again. They chew that over again to make sure that it's all nutrients and no poisons or anything. That's why the Most High said, only eat the animals that are cloven-footed and chew the cud. He's trying to look out for you, not trying to stop you from eating pork and stuff. What you think tastes good. So that's what that means. That's why he gave you the animals that do this. They eat it, and if it got something in it, or nail or something, they throw it back up. And then they take it and eat it again. And it's all nutrient. The cow does this, the deer does this. All the animals that eat grass and plants, they do this. That's what the Most High said. Only eat those animals, because those animals are clean. They have made sure that you don't get poisoned. Okay. We learned something. All right. Now, one more. Just gonna rock your little noodles a little bit. The grill.
You're eating off stuff that unclean food that been cooked on.
Should we be eating our grills that unclean food been cooked on?
No, it's an
According
abomination.
to the Torah.
The Torah says if the unclean animal's been cooked on it, I know we like to go out to eat. I know it's gonna get nasty there, but even me myself, you cannot eat from that place because there has been an animal on it. So that grill, he says, to take it and do what with it?
Destroy it.
Break it down and destroy it. It's in the Torah. If you want to get with me after this lesson, so I don't have to slow down, I'll show you what it says. He says to break that grill down, destroy it, beat it to pieces, and don't use it no more. So what we do, we doing right now, we go out to eat, we ain't studying about doing what they cook for. Now just give me some beef. Even though they just got done cooking the pork on there. Ain't me myself, I'm not excluding myself, but this is why we have got to get back to cooking at home. So you can control what goes on in your pots and in your grill, on your grills. That's what he said. Don't eat from these places. Don't even eat from if they cooking anything that's unclean. So that's uncleanness in its summary. All right, let's move on to the next one. It's 11. He said 7 days we gotta probe through this stuff and find out what's leaven, and get it away from us. And what Paul describes as leaven here, he goes through a whole list of the works of the flesh, because we know that they're talking about the flesh. Okay, lasciviousness. What is lasciviousness? Anybody? Excessiveness.
Lasciviousness?
Anybody?
That up on the phone right there.
Like
Out of
strange
control.
lust.
Torah
Out of
say
control.
indecency.
Indecency, but better yet, a better translation, out of control. Control is, I'm married to my wife. Out of control is me committing adultery because I'm out of the control of the Torah. So anything out of control is adultery, of course, but it's lascivious. The lust of it is lasciviousness. And it ain't just adultery, it's just anything that I get out of control. Wild parties. I go to a party and, all right, it's going to hurt you a little bit, but I got to stab you a little bit here, you know what I'm saying? And you getting drunk. Oh, I ain't talking nobody in particular now. Don't crucify me now. You know what I'm saying? But if you get drunk, you are out of control because the scriptures say that, and it ain't just pointing at one person, but hey, there's a lot of people here that get drunk. If you get drunk, you're out of the control. The Torah said to drink, but don't be drunk. So you're out of that control of what the Torah said. The Torah set us a control level, like a thermostat, and you're out of it. Lascivious, that's what lascivious means. You're out of that context. Now you're into something else. So he says, don't do it. Lasciviousness is a work of the flesh. So anything outside of the Torah, you go outside of it. Glutton, overeating. We all of us guilty of that. How do you know when you're overeating? My me and Jamal had this discussion. How do you know when a person is overeating? Oh boy. How do you know when you're overeating? Remember we talking about being unleavened, not leavened. This is being leavened. We have to strive to be unleavened.
Like when you full and you keep going.
When you're full and you keep going. Huh? What's the signal for letting me know?
Like you feel it.
Stomach.
Your stomach.
Be puffed up.
It puffed up. Again, what did leaven do?
Puff you up.
It puffs you up. So when I'm puffed up or I'm too full, I can't even sit down good. Then guess what? I'm glutton. I'm excessive. I'm lascivious. That's what it means. Same thing. Glutton, lascivious means same thing. You excessively doing something. He didn't tell us we couldn't eat food, but he said don't overeat. Why? Because you get diabetes, you get high blood pressure, you get all these functions that go wrong in your body when you consume too much food. You know that fat releases a what? Sugar and dangerous toxins into your bloodstream. That's what fat do. So when you take on all this fat, me myself, I ain't exclude myself, it releases toxins. Some days you feel like, oh man, I don't know what's wrong with me. Because it releases toxins into your system, which throws your chemical balance off. So that's what glutton does. And he said, don't do that. There's no need for you to glutton. He blesses us with plenty of enough food since you eat normal.
Hey, the scriptures say don't eat fat too, right?
Yeah, in some
I'm talking
sacrifices.
on food. That's on the food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
yeah, it's just normal food. Yeah,
You can use
yeah.
it for anything but
Said don't
but
eat.
eating.
Yeah, don't eat it, and it's not good for you.
Fat good.
Like he said, good point.
Like that.
It's good what?
Burning.
Yeah, burning. So
Fire burning.
you shouldn't be eating fat anyway, because it's
Yeah.
not good. It has no proteins in it. Period. Yeah, old people tell you, oh, you eat that little fat, man. No, don't do that. Don't do that, because you're gonna hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's not good for you at all. All right, so now let's keep it moving. What else we got? I don't know why this phone keeps jumping off of it. Let's keep going on. Okay, idolatry. Not adultery, but idolatry. What's idolatry?
Idolizing.
Idolizing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, your car, your children, your wife, your husband, anything over the Mashiach is considered an idol. What's it mean to worship an idol? What does that mean?
That means to serve.
Who said it?
To put out your serve.
To serve. The word worship is the same word that means serve. So when they say worship, that just means serve. So it says don't serve an idol. So now how do I serve an idol? It's different from me having an idol and then me serving an idol.
It's like catering to
Bow
it.
down to it.
Bow down to it, start to cater to it, like I make an idol out of my car. So what I do, I start to, I'm gonna fashion it up, you know what I'm saying?
After washing it every single day.
Look at it and go, whoa, yeah, that's my baby there. I'm gonna miss Shabbat to wash my car. See, now you done put the car over Shabbat, which Most High said for us to meet, assemble ourselves. I'm gonna, not just call my wife, you know what I'm saying? I ain't coming to Shabbat. I'm gonna take my wife. We gonna go somewhere and do a little something. You know. Now I'm taking my wife and I'm putting her over the Most High. Because the Most High said, I want y'all to meet him. He want us to meet on Shabbat for what?
Yeah.
And a set apart
Get
assembly.
ourselves together, a nation our desire.
So if I don't do that, then I'm